Hello world, Shelly here, and it's time for another episode of Foundation Fest. And today I'm going to check out from Huda Beauty the Glowish Multidew Vegan Skin Tint Foundation. Yes. Retails for $37 for 40 mils or 1.35 ounces of product. So this is like $28-ish per ounce. Still in the prestige price range, but I think pretty reasonably priced. 13 different shades. I've got the lightest one, Fair 01, which is described as fair with neutral undertones. They say this is a fragrance-free, light-covered skin tint foundation that instantly brightens with near-neutral undertones and leaves skin with a dewy finish. That confuses me because not everybody is a neutral undertone. Are they saying that it brings you to neutral? I don't know what they're saying. But highlighted callouts here. Plant-derived squalane. Yay! I love me some squalane. Good ingredient for your skin care. It's a natural antioxidant. Damascus rose oil smooths, clarifies, and locks in moisture. Here's an interesting one. Red bell pepper extract on my face. Protects skin against the effects of digital pollution, blue lights, vegan, cruelty-free, recyclable packaging, waterproof, sweat-proof, second skin vibes, perfect for everyday use, yada yada yada, fuss-free pump, so they claim. Let's take a look at shade 01 Fair, swatched against a few others in my collection. Swatch time. First up is today's foundation from Huda Beauty, the Glowish Skin Tint in shade 01 Fair. Second, I've got from Estee Lauder, the Double Wear Stay in Place in 1C1 Cool Bone. Third up is MAC Studio Sculpt in NW15. Fourth is the Wet n Wild Tinted Hydrator in shade Fair. And last, I've got from Misha the Perfect Cover BB Cream in shade 21. I've already cleansed, moisturized, and sunscreened this 46-year-old face. I have not primed because whenever I'm doing skin tints, I usually don't. I kind of just go in with the skin tint. Here is our fuss-free pump. Let's see what the consistency looks like on this guy. We are pretty thick. She thick, guys. She thick. I'm just going to go in with fingertip application for this one because that's kind of how I do these light coverage-ish skin tint type products. It's got a really creamy-ish consistency, if you can see how it kind of stacks up there. And probably more of my winter shade. I just got back from a week in Myrtle Beach. I was attending a conference and I didn't really get any sun. I mean, you know me, I stack the sunscreen, and if I'm staying anywhere near the beach or going outside anywhere near sun, I am piling on the sunscreen, but I always do get about a half shade darker in the summer, even though I wear sunscreen religiously. But this would, you know, it just looks a tiny bit too light for me, but I am not my normal shade, and I'm only this color, summer color, for like not even a month out of the year, if ever. I don't really get color, you guys. But I think I'll still be able to pull this off. This has a tiny bit of coverage. I think, you know, skin tints usually come across as being sheer, but I do feel like I'm getting some redness cancellation from one side to the other. This side's looking a little bit canceled out. I usually look at my chin for redness determination. I'm trying to keep it on one half here, just so you can see that I do think we are getting just a little bit of evening of skin tone, which is nice. Let's do the other side here. So I spent last week at a conference in Myrtle Beach. This week I am back to work, and that is why I have skipped a couple of videos last week, this week. I am trying to figure out how my routine is going to work because we are back on campus. I have returned to my office for the first time in over a year and a half. So that introduces another, 2 hours a day of commuting that I've been very glad not to have to do working from home for the past year and a half. So my schedule is going to need some retooling. So if I miss any videos, I apologize in advance. I'm going to get everything put squared away into a good schedule as quickly as I can. I'm still trying to decide if I'm going to continue to post Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or if I'm going to cut back to 2 videos a week to accommodate getting back into the rest of commuting and working and being full-time again, because summertime, of course, I'm not working. But definitely a dewy finish, you guys. Super dewy. I'm going to call this super, super dewy. Holy reflect, Batman. We got some reflect happening. Dewy, dewy. It's pretty. We got a couple issues, though. Let's take a zoom in and look up close at this guy. So it's kind of clinging to all the places where I have clinging issues, such as my upper lip. Not too bad on my upper lip. It is clinging to my nose, kind of clinging to the pores of my nose. However, the pores on my cheeks, which are kind of the largest and most visible of them, it is smoothing them pretty nicely, but a little bit looks like product on top of the skin on my nose and in between my eyebrows. It's just kind of just clinging to the texture that I have there. Forehead, it just looks a little heavy. It just looks like there's a little bit of product. This looks like it's got kind of a sheen built into the product, which is why I feel like I think I see it on top of my skin, like it's a layer of sheen that has been placed on top of my skin instead of blurring with my skin. At a distance, I still think it looks nice. Up close, I just see a lot of the product on my skin, especially between my eyebrows. It's really obvious between my eyebrows. I'm trying to blend it out, but I'm just kind of moving it around, and that's not really the point. But I'm going for a light coverage look today anyway. That is the plan. This sheen is really kind of strange, you guys. We're going to have to see if this dries down. It's pretty sticky, but, you know, freshly applied. I'm going to give it a couple minutes. Let's see if it dries down, if I need to powder it or not. It is 1:11 p.m. Let me go put the rest of my face on. I will be right back. All right. Here we are with the Glowish. I did end up setting it with powder. So what I did was I went in with the e.l.f. Electric Mood face palette. Absolutely loving this for like quick, everyday, tinted moisturizer type of days. Very, very light coverage days. It's super fast. It's super easy. The tones work for fair skin and I'm loving it. So I put that on. Then I put on a little bit of the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish. Yes, that's the name. Why did I just blank on that? Because I felt like I needed to tone down that the plasticky look. The look of, you know, that look where it just looks like you put saran wrap on your face. It's not totally super bad, but it's a little plasticky looking. So I did apply this medium quantity, not a super light dusting, not a heavy dusting, but that did help. I don't think it looks as plasticky as it did. Is that even a word? Probably not. But still dewy. So if you like dewy, you got it with this one. Then I went in with a little bit of Natasha Denona Super Glow because reasons. Okay, on my eyes. Ever since I got this palette, this has become my everyday, like, out the door eye look. I am so loving it. e.l.f. Electric Mood again. I did a whole video trying out all these Electric Mood things. I do this color in the crease transition. Then I do this color in the crease. And then I do this one as my main lid, and I love it. It's super fast, it's gorgeous, it looks like it took way longer than it did, and it just is awesome. My mascara is Big Mood from e.l.f. My liner is KVD Cake Liner for my upper waterline, and my lip gloss is, again, the e.l.f. Electric Mood. I'm just going to shout out e.l.f. one more time. Where is it? I have it here somewhere. This little glitter paste in this line, this is my other. If I'm not doing this for my eye look, I just do this. I do a little bit of a neutral crease color, like that first brown that I used in this palette, and then I go in with this all over my lid. The only downside of this paste is, like any of these other types of liquid glitter type things, it all ends up in my eyebrows when I wash my face that night. I don't care. You know me. Glitter everywhere is just fine. So that is what I'm wearing. I'm gonna go about my day. I got a ton of class prep I have to do. Classes start next week. I have to go to the grocery store. I have to go to the post office. I have errands and work, and I'm gonna go do all that. I will come back in a bit, give you guys a daylight check-in. Then I'll come back tonight, give you my final thoughts. Hey guys, a little daylight check-in in the rain, shall we? Here's where we are at. Of course, it's gonna start raining harder just as I get out here. Do you see it? Do you see what I mean by plasticky? How it like freezes my lines in place? That's what I'm not a fan of. I don't like that so much. Otherwise, I think the finish is pretty. You know, it's a nice dewy finish. If it didn't have that like plasticky sheen to it, I would like it even more. Blush bronzer highlight are still intact, even though I was wearing them pretty minimally. Shade match. I was thinking it was a little too light for me, but now I think it might be a little too dark for me. Did it oxidize, you guys? I'm looking where where I don't have bronzer. It might have oxidized a little bit. Coverage seems to be missing on my chin as well. You know, it's only been a handful of hours, maybe 4 hours now. That's where we're at. I'll be back tonight. 9:14 p.m. That puts us just past the 8-hour mark. Let's take a look at how the Huda Beauty Glowish held up. You guys. Not a fan. Not a fan. At the 6-hour mark, I had to do a live stream video, and you know the camera at a conversational distance makes most things look nicer than they are. Don't worry, I'll give you guys the close-up. I had to put on a bunch more powder just to make this wearable, and it was only 6 hours in. So yes, I have re-powdered this whole thing, and it still looks kind of a hot mess. It has settled into lines, it's settled into my chin lines, it's settled into my forehead lines, it was starting to settle into my crow's feet lines, which you've probably heard me say this before if you've been around for a minute. My crow's feet don't usually show up unless my skin is getting a little bit dehydrated. I mean, they show up if I smile or, crinkle my face, but, normally I can't see them. And even now I can kind of see the lines just sitting there. And I mentioned that in the daylight check-in, like I feel like it's just kind of freezing my lines into place. And that somehow has to do with this finish. Like it's kind of a plasticky finish. So now we're settling into lines. It's not super hydrating on me. I wouldn't go so far as to call it drying. I'd say it's not drying, but it's not hydrating. It's a little bit tacky. It's not super comfortable. At a conversational distance, it looks nice. If we zoom in, it's not so nice. Let's do that. If we look up close, I've lost a ton of coverage around my mouth, on my chin, on my upper lip, on my nose. It's caking up to the skin along the sides of my nostrils. Blush bronzer highlight I think they've waned a little bit. I've lost just a little bit of what was there. My forehead, I'm seeing my micro wrinkles now, which again, that tends to happen when I start to get dehydrated in my skin. Between my eyebrows, it's caking up. Around my eyebrows and my temples, it's caking up. It just has not held up very well at all. I didn't really like the finish to begin with, and so here we go. If we're talking about dry skin, not the worst, not the best. If we're talking about maturing skin, it's settling into my lines, fine lines and deeper lines, so that's not great. It is clinging to areas of texture. It is clinging. I don't even have any flaking skin right now, so it's just clinging to places where I have more textury skin, like around my nostrils and in between my eyebrows. It's just not doing me any favors at all. Because it looks decent at a conversational distance, it's not a complete fail, and I'm sure it's partially the finish that really bothers me. I don't like that plasticky look. If you are going for that super glowy Barbie doll face look, which is a thing, and people love it. You know, go ahead and love it. You will love it if that's what you're going for. It's doing that beautifully. That's just not what I like with my skin's texture and the maturing level of my skin. And the fact that it's settling into lines and not being super great for dry skin kind of just puts me off. So if I had to give a grade to the Huda Beauty Glowish, this one's not going to be on the top of my recommendations. I'm going to go with D. It's not the worst. It got pretty... I was honestly thinking B-, C+, up until I saw it at the 6-hour mark. That is not enough wear for me. I can't even go to work wearing this. It'll be a hot mess before I'm even anywhere near ready to go home. So it's a D for me. Sad. Bummer. Does it work for you? If it does, let me know in the comments. What type of skin do you have? You know, is it dry skin? Is it maturing skin? Is it oily, normal, combo? What do you got going on? Do you do anything to make it work for you? All the information we can gather down below to get these products to work better for people is my goal. So share whatever you know. Share your experiences. Glad to have your contributions. I'm going with a D. There you have it. Another episode of Foundation Fest is in the books. If you like foundation reviews, if you had a good time with this one, if you want me to keep making them, give me a thumbs up down below. Please subscribe if you haven't already. I post new videos every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. And as always, thanks a lot for taking some time on your day to geek out over makeup with me. I appreciate it, and I hope you guys all have an awesome day or night wherever you are in the world. Take care of each other. Bye-bye.